Welcome back to our channel, World Coins History. As you knew that old is gold, but these rare states $quarter coins that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them. You're lucky if you have one of these, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Top 1. Today, we're turning our attention to one of the most beautiful and historic coins in the 50-state quarter series, the Connecticut quarter from 1999. Now, at first glance, this might look like your average quarter. You've probably seen dozens of them lying around in change jars, in your pockets, or maybe even tucked away in an old drawer. But here's the thing, some versions of this very coin could be worth a small fortune. And yes, we'll be revealing just how much at the end of this video. So grab your magnifying glass, because you'll want to listen closely. This Connecticut quarter might be tiny, but it holds a story, and possibly a price tag, that will blow your mind. Let's start with the basics. This quarter was released in 1999 as part of the U.S. Mint's 50-state quarters program, a wildly popular series that celebrated each state's unique heritage. Connecticut was the fifth coin in the series, and what makes it stand out immediately is its stunning design, the charter oak tree. The charter oak is more than just a tree. It's a symbol of American independence and resilience. According to legend, in 1687, colonists hid their royal charter in the hollow of this massive tree to keep it from being seized by the British governor. So, when you hold this quarter, you're holding a piece of revolutionary history. Now, you might be wondering, if this coin was produced in the millions, how can it be rare? That's a great question, and here's where things get really interesting. While the standard Connecticut quarter is common, certain versions of it contain rare errors or have been preserved in pristine condition, and those are the ones collectors are desperately hunting for. Some of the most valuable Connecticut quarters are those with minting errors, the kinds of mistakes that sneak past quality control and end up becoming legendary in the collecting world. We're talking about things like off-center strikes, where the design is noticeably misaligned. There are also examples with double die errors, where parts of the image or lettering appear doubled, creating a striking and unusual look. Another sought-after error is clipped planchets, where part of the coin is actually missing due to a miscut blank. Now add to that the fact that some of these error coins are in uncirculated or near-perfect condition, and you've got yourself a truly rare find. Collectors love these coins not just for their mistakes, but for their uniqueness. Each error tells a story, a moment where the machinery slipped, the system glitched, and something extraordinary was created by accident. These rare coins become the crown jewels in collections, proudly displayed and fiercely protected. Even without errors, if a Connecticut quarter has been preserved in a flawless, uncirculated state, especially with a brilliant finish or graded by a professional service at a high level like MS 68 or higher, it can command serious attention and cash in the collector's market. And that brings us to the big moment you've all been waiting for. There is a Connecticut quarter from 1999, with a rare minting error, in outstanding condition, that has been valued at $59,000. Yes, you heard that right. $59,000 for a single quarter. Just imagine flipping through your change and finding that kind of treasure hiding in plain sight. So, the next time you come across a Connecticut quarter, don't overlook it. Examine it closely. Check for errors. Look at the condition. That little coin could be holding a big secret. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the hidden world of rare quarters, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more coin stories, and tap the bell icon so you never miss a new discovery. Top 2, we're talking about a very special coin that might just blow your mind, the 2008 Oklahoma quarter dollar. Yes, it's part of the U.S. Mint's 50-state quarters program, but this one's got a few secrets that make it stand out in a huge way. So sit tight, coin lovers, because if you've got this quarter lying around, it might be time to take a very close look. Let's start with what makes the Oklahoma quarter so visually unique. Released in early 2008, this quarter features one of the most elegant and symbolic designs of the entire series. On the reverse side, you'll see the scissor-tailed flycatcher, Oklahoma's state bird, in full flight. It's soaring over a field of wild Indian blanket flowers, representing the beauty and rich nature of the state. It's not just a coin, it's a miniature piece of art, but don't let the beauty fool you. This coin might just be hiding a serious payday. Now, most of these quarters were mass-produced, hundreds of millions of them, in fact. So what turns a regular Oklahoma quarter into a high-value treasure? Here's where things get exciting. Some of these quarters were struck with rare minting errors, the kinds of mistakes that make collectors' eyes light up and prices skyrocket. These include things like double die errors, where the lettering or details appear slightly duplicated. That's right, you might see double outlines on Oklahoma, E pluribus unum, or even the bird's wings. It's subtle, but once spotted, it's a red flag for rarity. Another rare issue is the off-center strike, where the entire image is misaligned, so instead of being perfectly centered, the bird and text might be pushed to one side. These are highly collectible, especially when the date and mint mark are still visible. There are even reports of clad layer errors, where part of the outer metal layer is missing, revealing the copper core underneath. These error coins are like winning the numismatic lottery, and collectors are always looking for them. But even without a major error, an Oklahoma quarter that's been preserved in mint condition, especially one graded MS-67 or MS-68, is extremely hard to find. Most coins get scratched, dinged, and worn down from circulation. Finding one that still shines like the day it was minted? That's a rarity all on its own. Now here's the thing that coin collectors love the most about coins like these: the chase. Every Oklahoma quarter in your pocket or collection is a mystery waiting to be solved. Is it just a standard coin, or is it a valuable mistake that slipped through the cracks at the mint? Collectors around the world are always looking for these elusive coins. They're not just currency, they're pieces of American history, preserved in metal, and holding the kind of mystery that makes this hobby so thrilling. And now, the part you've all been waiting for: there is a known example of a 2008 Oklahoma quarter dollar, featuring a rare minting error and preserved in exceptional condition, that has been valued at $45,000. Yes, you heard me right. $45,000 for a single quarter. Imagine the possibilities if one of those is sitting quietly in your coin jar right now. So next time you see that scissor-tailed flycatcher gliding across a shiny Oklahoma quarter, don't just toss it aside. Take a closer look. Because that little piece of metal might just be your golden ticket. Top 3. This episode is going to take us deep into the heart of the Midwest with a coin that many people have seen, spent, or maybe even tossed aside without a second thought. But what if I told you that the Ohio quarter from 2002 might be holding a secret, a rare and valuable twist that could turn this 25-cent coin into something truly remarkable? If you're into coin collecting, numismatics, or just love the thrill of uncovering hidden gems, you're going to want to stick around for this one. Let's start with the basics. In 2002, as part of the U.S. Mint's iconic 50-state quarters program, Ohio was honored with its own special design. This wasn't just any design, it was a tribute to Ohio's legacy in aviation and space exploration. On the back of the coin, you'll see a vintage astronaut alongside the Wright Flyer, the legendary plane flown by the Wright brothers, who hailed from Dayton, Ohio. Floating just above the image is the bold title, Birthplace of Aviation Pioneers. It's a nod to the fact that not only did the Wright brothers come from Ohio, but so did Neil Armstrong, the first man to walk on the moon. That's a pretty powerful legacy for one state, and a pretty amazing story to be told on a coin no larger than a quarter. But here's where things get even more interesting. This quarter might be beautiful, but it's not just its looks that have collectors excited. It's what lies beneath the surface, the rare minting errors and condition grades, that can send this coin's value soaring. Let's talk about rarity. While the U.S. Mint produced millions of Ohio quarters in 2002, not all coins are created equal. Most of them went straight into circulation, meaning they were dropped in vending machines, tossed into pockets, scraped against other coins, and generally beat up by everyday use. But a very small number were either struck with rare errors or preserved in near-perfect condition. And those are the ones that collectors are chasing. Now let's dive into the real treasure, the errors. Some Ohio quarters from 2002 were struck with double die errors, where the lettering or details of the design appear slightly duplicated. This error can be hard to notice without close inspection, but once spotted, it instantly sets the coin apart. You might see doubling in the word Ohio, in the astronaut's figure, or even in the tiny stars surrounding the design. Another rare issue? Off-center strikes. These are coins where the stamping process was misaligned, leaving the design pushed to one side with part of it missing entirely. The more off-center the strike, and the more intact the date and mint mark, the more valuable the coin becomes. There are even examples of clad layer separation, where the outer nickel layer of the coin partially peels away or was never fully bonded in the first place, exposing the copper core underneath. This kind of error is extremely rare and sought after in the coin collecting world, but the value of this coin isn't just tied to errors. Condition plays a huge role. If a 2002 Ohio quarter has been carefully preserved in mint condition, no scratches, no blemishes, no signs of circulation, it can fetch serious interest. Coins that are professionally graded MS 67, MS 68, or even higher are very rare. The grading scale only goes up to 70, so anything in that range is near perfection. Now think about this. How many of these coins do you think survived all these years without a single scratch? Hardly any. That's why pristine examples command such high prices, and why collectors go wild for them. But what really excites collectors about this coin isn't just its rarity or value, it's what it represents. This Ohio quarter isn't just money. It's a symbol of American innovation, a tribute to the explorers of our skies and the pioneers who dared to go beyond the clouds and into space. It carries with it a piece of history, a touch of inspiration, and for the lucky few, a serious investment. So here comes the part you've been waiting for. Among the rarest examples of the 2002 Ohio quarter, specifically those with striking mint errors, preserved in flawless, uncirculated condition, there is one that has sold for an astonishing $49,000. That's right. $49,000, for a single quarter, makes you want to go dig through your change, doesn't it? So, coin collectors, the next time you come across an Ohio quarter, don't just see it as spare change. Take a good, long look. You might be holding something much more valuable than you ever imagined. Top 4, we're going to talk about a coin that often gets overlooked, yet holds an incredible story, a stunning design, and for a lucky few, a jaw-dropping value. We're diving into the world of the United States quarter dollar from 2015, featuring Kisatchie National Forest in Louisiana. Now, at first glance, this might look like just another piece of the America the Beautiful quarter series. You've probably seen one, maybe even spent one without thinking twice. But trust me when I say this, if you're a collector, a coin enthusiast, or even just someone who loves a good hidden treasure story, you're going to want to stick with me until the end. Because this coin is way more than just 25 cents. Let's start with what this coin is all about. In 2015, as part of the U.S. Mint's America the Beautiful series, a stunning quarter was released to honor Kisatchie National Forest, the only national forest in Louisiana. The design on the reverse side of the coin features a wild turkey in full flight, soaring above tall grass and pine trees, a scene that captures the raw, untamed beauty of Kisatchie's landscapes. It's a tribute not only to the natural beauty of the South but also to the wildlife and wilderness preserved in this forest. The level of detail in the turkey's feathers, the motion in its wings, it's a beautiful piece of art in your palm. But we're not just here to admire the scenery. We're here because some of these quarters are worth a fortune. Now you might be wondering, how can a coin minted just a few years ago be valuable? Well, that's where things get really interesting. Although millions of Kisatchie quarters were produced, only a tiny fraction of them became rarities. You see, it's not just about the age of a coin, it's about how it was struck, the condition it's in, and whether it has something most others don't, a mistake. That's right. We're talking about minting errors, the holy grail for collectors. Some Kisatchie quarters were struck with a double die error, where the design or lettering appears slightly duplicated due to a misalignment during the minting process. It's a small detail, but to trained eyes, and collectors, it means big money. Others may have what's known as an off-center strike, where the coin design is misaligned and pushed off to one side. The more dramatic the error, the higher the value. And if the mint mark and date are still clearly visible, you've got yourself a real rarity. Then there are die cracks, where fine lines appear across the coin like tiny rivers. These come from wear and tear on the dies that stamp the coins, and when caught on coins in circulation, they become incredibly desirable. But here's something even more fascinating. Some of these rare Kisatchie quarters have errors that weren't caught by the mint, but are obvious under magnification. Slight overpolishing of the dies can cause missing details in the design, known as struck through grease errors. These coins can appear slightly faded or missing elements like feathers or parts of the lettering, and that's what makes them collectible gold. Of course, condition is everything. If your Kisatchie quarter has never been circulated, if it's been preserved in mint state or graded at MS 67, MS 68, or higher by a professional service, then you're dealing with a coin that's not only rare but also nearly flawless. That level of preservation is extremely uncommon. Most coins get nicked, scraped, or tossed into jars, losing their luster and, with it, their collector's value. Now let's talk about why collectors love this coin. The 2015 Kisatchie quarter combines beautiful design, limited mintage, and the possibility of valuable mint errors. It's the perfect storm for numismatic excitement. Every time you come across one, there's that flicker of hope. What if it's one of the rare ones? What if it's been hiding in plain sight, just waiting for the right collector to notice? And that brings us to the moment you've been waiting for. There is one verified example of a 2015 Kisatchie quarter, with a rare minting error and in pristine condition, that has reached the incredible value of $44,000. Yes. You heard that correctly, $44,000, all for a coin you could easily miss if you're not looking closely enough. So here's your challenge. Go check your change, your jars, your drawers, that old coin folder you forgot about years ago. Look for the wild turkey. Look for signs of doubling, off-center images, or unusual details. Because that quarter you nearly spent on a soda could actually be a once-in-a-lifetime find. Top 5, we're diving into the 2002 Louisiana quarter dollar, a coin that might seem ordinary at first, but as we're about to discover, it could be hiding something very special. Let's talk about the design first. Released in 2002, this quarter is part of the 50-state quarters program, which honors each state's unique history and culture. The design of Louisiana's quarter reflects the state's rich heritage, featuring a stunning steamboat floating down the Mississippi River, along with a crescent moon and palm trees in the background. This imagery captures the essence of Louisiana's waterways and its iconic position in American history. The quarter is a tribute to both the state's pivotal role in the Louisiana Purchase and its ongoing connection to the river that helped shape its culture and economy. But while this coin is a beautiful tribute to Louisiana, it's more than just a piece of art. In fact, it's a coin that's piqued the interest of collectors for more than one reason, rarity and minting errors being among the most important. You see, even though the 2002 Louisiana quarter was produced in large quantities, there are certain rare variations and errors that can make this coin extremely valuable. And here's where the real excitement begins for collectors. First, let's talk about minting errors. Some of these coins were struck with double die errors, a type of flaw where the design is imprinted onto the coin more than once, creating a double image. This can happen with the lettering or even the design of the steamboat and the crescent moon. If you're lucky enough to find a Louisiana quarter with this type of error, it could send your coin's value skyrocketing. Collectors are constantly on the lookout for double dies because they are rare and highly desirable, but it doesn't stop there. There are also off-center strikes, which occur when the coin is not properly aligned in the minting machine. As a result, part of the design is missing or cut off. These coins can look a bit odd, with part of the image or even some of the lettering missing, but to collectors, that's exactly what makes them so interesting and valuable. The more dramatic the misalignment, the more valuable the coin becomes. And here's another twist: clad layer errors. Sometimes, coins like this Louisiana quarter can suffer from problems with the clad layers, where the outer nickel layer doesn't bond properly with the copper core. This can leave part of the core exposed, giving the coin a unique look. These types of errors can be highly sought after, especially if they're in good condition and the date and mint mark are still clearly visible. But what really sets this quarter apart is its condition. As we all know, coins get scratched, worn, and damaged over time, especially when they're circulated in everyday transactions. However, a Louisiana quarter in pristine, uncirculated condition is a rare find. If it's graded at a high level, say MS 67 or MS 68, it could be worth far more than its face value, even without any errors. A well-preserved coin with sharp details and vibrant colors can be a prized possession for collectors who appreciate the beauty and history captured in every tiny detail. Now, let's talk about why collectors are so obsessed with this coin. the 2002 Louisiana quarter is not just any state quarter, it's part of a series that was produced to celebrate the turn of the millennium and the diversity of American history. Each state's quarter tells a unique story, and Louisiana's coin represents the cultural richness and history of the state, from its role in the Louisiana Purchase to its deep connection with the mighty Mississippi River. But for collectors, it's the rarity and the possibility of finding a minting error that truly make this coin a prize, and if you've ever wondered just how much some of these rare coins can be worth, let me tell you, the value can be astonishing. There's been at least one documented case where a 2002 Louisiana quarter, in perfect condition with a rare minting error, has sold for the impressive sum of $48,000, yes, you heard that right, $48,000 for a single quarter. It's amazing to think that something so small, a coin that you could easily overlook, could have such a high price tag. So, what does that mean for you? Well, it's time to go digging through your coin collection, check your spare change jar, or flip through your old coin folders, because that 2002 Louisiana quarter could be the one that makes you rich. Top 6, we're talking about the 1999 Delaware quarter, a coin that might be hiding in your pocket or drawer right now, just waiting to surprise you with a value much higher than its face value. Stick around to the end, because we'll reveal just how much this quarter could be worth, and trust me, you won't want to miss it. Let's start with a little history. The Delaware quarter was the first coin released in the 50-state quarters program, which kicked off in 1999. Delaware was chosen to be the first state because it holds a unique place in American history as the first state to ratify the U.S. Constitution. This was a big deal, and the design on the reverse side of the coin reflects that historical moment. You'll see a picture of Caesar Rodney, a hero of the American Revolution who is remembered for his famous midnight ride to cast the decisive vote for Delaware's ratification. Along with Rodney, the coin features the inscription, "The First State," to commemorate Delaware's role in the birth of the United States. At first glance, this coin might seem like any other, but there's a twist. The Delaware quarter has been in circulation for over 2 decades now, and as with many older coins, there are certain rarities and errors that can make this seemingly ordinary coin extraordinary. Let's talk about rarity. While millions of these quarters were minted, not all of them are created equal. Some have become particularly desirable to collectors, thanks to their condition, the errors they carry, or even the low mintage numbers from certain years. When it comes to the Delaware quarter, there's a small but important percentage that stands out from the rest, and it's those rare examples we're after today. One of the key factors that can make a coin valuable is its minting errors. Yes, that's right, those little mistakes that sometimes happen during the minting process. These errors can range from something as simple as doubled lettering to more noticeable problems like misaligned dies or even off-center strikes. And in the case of the 1999 Delaware quarter, some of these mistakes are what give the coin its massive value. Imagine finding a double die error on your quarter, where the image of Caesar Rodney or the text, "The First State," appears twice, slightly shifted from the original design. These double images happen when the coin dies don't align correctly during the minting process. Collectors go crazy for these, because they're extremely rare and often add significant value to the coin. Another exciting error that can occur on this coin is an off-center strike, which means the coin wasn't properly aligned when it was stamped. As a result, part of the design is cut off, and the text or image may be missing or shifted to one side. These off-center coins are often more valuable because they're one-of-a-kind and stand out in a collection. The more dramatic the error, the more a collector will be willing to pay for it, but it's not just about errors. The condition of the coin also plays a major role in determining its value. Coins that have been well preserved, with little to no wear, can fetch much higher prices than those that have been circulated for years. If you've got a 1999 Delaware quarter that's still in mint condition, meaning it looks like it was just freshly minted, then you're looking at a rare find. Coins that are graded at MS 67 or higher are incredibly valuable because they're practically perfect. The higher the grade, the more likely it is to become a prized possession for collectors. Now let's get into what all collectors want to know: the value. How much could this coin be worth? You might think it's just a regular quarter, but rare minting errors, high-quality condition, and historical significance can push the value way beyond expectations. In fact, there's been at least one instance where a 1999 Delaware quarter with a minting error and near-perfect condition sold for an eye-watering $59,000, that's right, $59,000 for a single coin that was once worth just a quarter. The key takeaway here is that not all coins are created equal. What may seem like a regular, everyday coin could actually be hiding a rare error or in perfect condition, making it worth thousands of dollars. So if you come across a 1999 Delaware quarter, don't just toss it aside. Take a closer look. Check for double die errors, look for off-center strikes, and examine the coin for any unique features that could make it a rare gem, and if you find one that looks perfect, well, congratulations, you might just have a future fortune in your hands. Top 7 and last rare coin, we're diving into the world of coins with a piece that's sure to get any collector excited, the 1999 Pennsylvania quarter. You might be thinking, it's just a quarter, right? But trust me, this one is anything but ordinary. In fact, there's more to this little coin than meets the eye, and by the end of this video, you might just be looking at your own change with a brand new perspective. First, let's talk about what makes this coin special. Released in 1999 as part of the 50-state quarters program, the Pennsylvania quarter features a design that represents the state's rich history. On the reverse side of the coin, you'll see an image of the Liberty Bell, with the state's name inscribed in bold letters and the word Independence above it, symbolizing Pennsylvania's key role in the American Revolution and the signing of the Declaration of Independence. The Liberty Bell is not only iconic but also a symbol of freedom, making it a perfect fit for this state's quarter. Now, most of us have seen this quarter in our pocket change, but here's the kicker: while the 1999 Pennsylvania quarter is one of the most common coins in circulation, it can also be one of the most valuable if you know what to look for. That's right, this humble quarter could actually be worth far more than its face value. Let's get into why this coin is so desirable to collectors. The main reason is simple: rarity and minting errors. Yes, sometimes those tiny mistakes made during the minting process can turn an otherwise regular coin into a collector's dream. The first thing to note is that, like many coins produced during this time, there were a number of minting errors that happened on some of these Pennsylvania quarters. One of the most sought-after errors is known as the double die. This happens when the coin die is misaligned during the minting process, causing the design to be struck more than once in slightly different positions. What does this mean for you as a collector? It means that if you find a Pennsylvania quarter with a double die error, you could be holding on to a rare piece that can fetch big money. Another error that can make a 1999 Pennsylvania quarter valuable is an off-center strike. This occurs when the coin is not properly aligned with the dies during the minting process, which results in part of the design being cut off or misaligned. A dramatic off-center strike, where a significant portion of the image or lettering is missing, is a particularly valuable find. Then, there's the potential for clad errors. This happens when the layers of metal that make up the quarter don't bond correctly during the minting process, leading to a coin that looks slightly different from others. While these types of errors are relatively rare, they're highly sought after by collectors because they offer something unique, something that stands out from the hundreds of thousands of regular quarters that were produced. But wait, there's more. The condition of a coin plays a major role in determining its value. While you might come across a lot of well-worn or circulated Pennsylvania quarters, the mint state specimens, the ones that have been kept in pristine condition, are worth much more. If a quarter has been graded at a high level, say MS 67 or higher, that's where the value really jumps up. These coins, often described as being in like new condition, can make collectors do a double take. Imagine finding a 1999 Pennsylvania quarter with zero wear and tear, sharp details, and vibrant design. It could be worth much more than you think, but the real magic happens when you come across a combination of rarity and error in a mint state coin. A 1999 Pennsylvania quarter with a minting error like a double die or off-center strike, in perfect condition, can be extremely valuable. And just how valuable are we talking? Well, I'll tell you this. There are documented cases where these rare quarters have sold for an astonishing $59,000, yes, you heard that correctly, $59,000 for a single coin that's worth just 25 cents when it was first minted. But that's the thing about coin collecting, it's not just about the face value of a coin, it's about its story, its rarity, and its condition. A small minting error or unique feature can transform an ordinary coin into a collectible treasure that's worth a small fortune. So, what does this mean for you? If you've got a jar of change sitting around or a collection of coins gathering dust, now might be the time to start looking at those 1999 Pennsylvania quarters a little more closely. Check for any signs of double die errors, off-center strikes, or unusual features that might indicate something special. Even if it looks perfect and you don't spot any obvious errors, it could still be worth a second look by a professional grader to assess its true condition. You never know, you might just find a coin worth thousands of dollars hiding in plain sight. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of rare coins and want to discover more hidden treasures, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on our latest discoveries. There's a whole world of valuable coins out there just waiting for you to uncover. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy hunting, and keep checking your change.